So having the first Zirk Cleanout tool fail for me, I went ahead and made my own out of a 4130, 4140 pump jack rod, or oil field rod. And I've tried it out and it works fabulously. I don't know why I keep thinking that you know, some of these Chinese things that I buy are going to be worth a darn. But I saw online where there were some of these designed in this way, that was more of a piston with the O-rings, and it was about $80. So, you know, the options are spend the $80 or design and make my own. So I went ahead and designed and made my own. I didn't really start out with any plans other than a picture. I didn't really have a game plan as to how I was going to machine either side. I just kind of worked on it a couple nights after work and, you know, bored this hole, brought it down to size, and then brought this down to size. I used a cutoff tool to make the recesses there for the O-rings. Did a little research on O-ring clearance, did a little knurling, and it works awesome. It's heavy duty. It's a nice tight fit. There is zero blow by, and it is tolerance just perfect. There's zero wiggle here. I machined this oversize, and then I took a file and then eventually some sandpaper with some different grades, going down to I think a 240 grit, or the emery cloth type anyway. And so it is just snug as a bug in there. And yeah, got a little hole that fits right on the Zirk. And so let me take you through and show you how it works here. Works a whole lot better than the other one. And this isn't bending. This is about a half inch here with a half-inch bore in it. And yeah, like I said, 4130, 4140. I've been hammering on this thing a bunch, and it's not bending, it's not breaking. So let's take you over here and show you how it works. Here we are at one of the grease Zirks that was giving me problems, and with the new tool that I have, I'm just going to stick that down in some automatic transmission fluid and suck it up just like a syringe. And this one is already broken loose there. I was actually playing with this one the other night, but this thing works amazing. I'm going to lift up the bucket and get another one in here. Alright, another thing I need to do is put the pin back in here. These Zirks here are hidden by the bucket down on the bottom here, so I've got to lift this bucket back up. But the pin that goes through here that holds this top mount on, it's an interference fit, meaning that it's not just going to slide right in. So through the properties of physics and thermodynamics, cold stuff shrinks and hot stuff expands. Having these heated up and the pin cooled down, I should be able to have a little bit easier time getting it in than it was to get it out. I've got the bolt here all cleaned up, and this is a locking type of nut and bolt assembly. Caterpillar, and I've got this this lineup pin that I made here on the lathe to line that pin up, because the bolt has got to go through the hole in the pin. So as it's coming through there, I don't know how easy it's going to be to get everything lined up. So I made this, and that way when it gets close, I can jam this in there, hammer it down. It's tapered to where it will align it as it goes in there. So that's the plan, and let's see if it works out that way. Whew, cold pin. Alright, let's get this thing going. Alright, it is cold. Oh God, it's still not going to be easy. Oh, it's going. Why is this not lining up? Oh no. Did it move? Oh, there it goes. Woo! Yes! Whoo! You gotta get in there, get that pin in there before it starts to warm up and before this starts to cool down. Now as that pin warms up, it's gonna expand and lock into place. And that's what we want. We want the pin to be secured in the bucket, and then this will just rotate on that pin with the grease as aid. So let's see how our Zirk is gonna do here, if it's gonna accept grease or not, and we'll get this bolt tightened up. Always stressful doing something like that when like time is a ultimate factor. This thing wasn't lining up right off the bat. Had to pull it back, get it aligned. Oh boy, man time, right? Let's try some grease. Yeah, it's still a little tight. So let's try our new Cleanout tool here. Get some trans fluid down in there. We'll give her a shot here with our new tool. And the key here is to get the air bubbles out of the tool before we start using it. And there we go. All liquid at the top there. And so we'll stick her on there and just start wailing on it. Ooh, smoking. Alright, I don't know what that means, but give her another shot here. There, finally broke. God, this was a pesky one. Okay, well there we have it. Yeah, it's got trans fluid coming out the bottom there. Let's see if it'll take some grease now. Yeah, that was after cleaning this sucker out with the pin off. There goes the grease. Nice and easy. Grease flowing out all over the place. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The real deal behind the Zirk Cleanout tool. So this one here, there was a video on it of a guy sucking up oil. That's not the case. The inside of this is not sufficient to suck up oil. The minute you go to suck up oil, there is no O-rings, and the bore of this is really rough. So oil just leaks right out. You try it with the grease. The grease is not going to flow and do what we just saw there, which is blow out old grease and built up gunk and stuff out of those little raceways for that grease to flow inside a greasable pin like this. But there is hope. You can make your own, like I did here. This is basically the same principle as that one, except made of high quality materials, which then I machined down to work for my needs. So works excellent, and it's strong as nails. I was pounding on this thing as hard as I could, basically, with a little 2-pound sledge, and no blow-by. I didn't really have any design or plan for it other than something that I had pictured in my head, and a couple pieces of steel, and again, the right tools and things to do that, to do the work. So a couple things come to mind when doing something like this. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And it just surprises me that, well, this is probably Chinese junk. It doesn't surprise me that Chinese junk. And the reason that is, people don't care about quality anymore. It's like everybody forgot about Edward Deming and total quality management when it comes to making things or building things. At one point in time, that was the goal: make a quality product and sacrifice nothing for quality, quality above all else, and cost shouldn't be an issue. But now cost is the issue, right? You've got these companies, foreign owned and conglomerate owned, and they're working for a board and working for giving a dividend and all that stuff. So you get junk like this that I'm not going to return this. They're just going to say, well, you hit it too hard with the hammer. Well, all right. But with the tools and the know-how, and you can still make a quality product. Now this took me probably 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. I worked on it a couple nights after work for maybe an hour or more each time. But it turned out exactly how I wanted it, and it works perfectly. And now I've got the best grease cleanout tool known to man, and I'll have it forever. And this is now a generational tool that I can pass down through the generations. So, anyways, watch the video, see and find out how to make one yourself. Again, I didn't have any plans, just a chunk of metal, and went to work on it. So that'll be it for today on Man Time. Thanks for joining me, and get out there, have some man time for yourself. Let's get our bolt tightened up here. Okay, I think we're all set there.